Welcome to the Pulse with Peter Urbina. I'm your host, Peter Biancamano, and this is your one-stop shop for sports picks, politics and government chatter, and even some neighborhood restaurant reviews. Instead of going to 3 different channels, you can come here every week for the pulse on everything you need to know. And folks, we have reached our 50th episode today, and we couldn't have been any prouder of everybody involved and for you guys for watching every week. And we're so happy that the World Cup trophy was presented to us because of our 50th episode. It's a joke, of course. We're actually here at Mulligan's, here at 159 First Street in Hoboken, New Jersey. They are the official soccer bar here in Hoboken. And in our first segment, we're going to be joined by Daria DeLucia of At Hoboken Eats. She's going to be trying some of the fare, and we're going to stick around for our politics segment here, where Josh Sotomayor Einstein is going to have an announcement for you. Let's head inside with to Daria first. Here inside Mulligan's at 159 First Street in the beautiful city of Hoboken, New Jersey. And look who we found in here. Daria DeLucia of At Hoboken Eats. Daria, what's going on?
I mean, it's a bar. How could you not find me here, right?
Exactly. Very good point. And speaking of which, when we came in and we were asked to do a little bit of a food tasting in here, what was our response?
I was surprised. My first question was, wait, they have food here? And ta-da, they do, surprisingly. And I took a look at the menu before we even came in, and it's like your typical bar food, but with a little bit of a twist. I mean, this isn't sausage and peppers, but here we have a sausage pastry. So it's
sausage pastry.
Yeah, so it's basically a puff pastry with sausage inside, which is,
and of course, so those dino
French
fries, exactly.
We've been drooling over how good they smell.
The smell-o-vision, we wish they created it. We're gonna have Daria dig into that though, because who else do sausage pastry? I never even heard of such a thing.
I'm gonna cut it in half so you can see what it looks like
inside.
Oh,
here we go.
Off the first bat, the softness, and look at the flaky. It looks like there's some butter flaky, kind of like a biscuit wrapped sausage.
Oh my God, dig in there, because that looks fabulous. So by the way, of course, Mulligan's is a big watering hole for many different people, but did you know that they have like a sausage pastry dish here?
Interrupting you really quick.
Go, do it.
Excuse me. First bite, soft, warm, but buttery flakiness, and then you get that like it's pretty warm right now, some hot sausage with a little bit of like a little kick, nice little kick in the back of your mouth, nothing too spicy. It's definitely a sweet sausage, but it has a lot of flavor in a dish that looks to me to like 2 ingredients. They put it together, something I've never even thought of. I mean, if you follow me on Instagram, you know I post a lot of sausage and peppers.
And there's plenty of people that follow her on Instagram, as we know.
This, honestly, very, very, very good.
So now let me ask you a question.
Should we try the fries?
Dig in, absolutely. You hear about bangers and mash all the time. Would you say, which is that special type of Irish sausage? Would you say that that's a sausage that's in this pastry right now?
Yeah, I would.
Okay, cool.
I definitely would. It's like I said, it's very good. It has like a little bit of a kick to it, but it's nothing too spicy. Very, very, very good. Again, unique combination here. I love it.
Exactly. We love uniqueness here on The Pulse. We're going to go over to the next dish. Let's do it. You still hungry?
Of course.
Of course, she says. All right, Daria, so usually I'm a little confused about any type of food items that you're either discussing or eating at a restaurant, but this one is pretty basic, right?
And what I like about this, no frills. A good cheeseburger is a good cheeseburger, and this is literally cheeseburger, lettuce, tomato, onion. I mean...
And of course, more fries.
Yeah, favorite part.
Exactly. So let's take a look at this bun action here.
Yes.
It looks like it's super soft, correct?
Super soft, and to me, it's, again, your traditional bun, and you can see the layers here. This is like your epitome of an American burger. This is the epitome. There's only one way to find out.
And what better? You come here to Mulligan's, you're watching the soccer games, you're watching the hockey games, the football games, whatever you want to watch. You're going to be in the mood for some burger and fries, correct? What do you think here, Daria?
I've had a lot of burgers.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of fancy burgers, topped with crazy, crazy concoctions. Getting back to the basics and doing it well is a key thing.
Exactly.
They do it here.
And I have to tell you, Daria, I can tell right away that this is not a frozen patty at all.
No,
that
no.
they 100% mashed it.
The
You probably
juice
know
that came
correct.
out, basically when I took the first bite, it was so juicy. The perfect amount of cheese. There was 2 pieces of cheese on there, which I'm a major fan of. The lettuce, tomato, they don't skimp on anything. And my biggest thing, the burger matches the size of the bun.
Ah, that's true.
You don't think about it, but it's a very big deal.
So let me
it's
ask
a
you a
very big
question.
deal.
What is your typical hamburger? That it needs to match the size of the bun, or it needs to be bigger than the bun, or smaller than the bun?
I want to taste what's inside of the buns. A lot of times I take half of the bun off, but look at how thin this is. Like this.
Yeah, I was going to say the bread looks very,
bread
very
is thin, and it's
right.
the perfect size to what you have inside of the burger.
Exactly.
Whether it's for me, this is my own personal thing. You can think what you want. Sandwich burger, I usually take half the bun off.
Yeah,
this you don't need to. This holds everything in.
But if you think about it, you're ordering a burger. You want the meat, right?
That's exactly. If I wanted
want what's
bread,
inside.
I would order a loaf of bread.
100%. And trust me, we have plenty of bakeries here in Hoboken to do that. But I mean, so the bread it looks very firm, but it also looks very soft. You
Very
can tell
soft.
that it's
Yep. But
fresh.
honestly, as much as is going on between the lettuce, tomato, onion, and the cheese, the burger does speak for itself, and the burger is very juicy, very, very good. And again, we're in a bar that is known for going out for a great time on the weekends, to come out, watch a sporting event. I think it's a big soccer bar.
Huge soccer bar, right? Yeah.
To come here and not knowing that they have food here, I mean, I would come here and get a
mean,
burger and
Daria,
be happy as heck.
They carved the tree out of the World Cup trophy outside. I thought it was because we're on our 50th show here today, and I was like, whoa, look at that. But no, it was because we're at Mulligan's, All right, we're going to have one more dish for you. Are you still ready to roll?
Of course I am.
Of course she is. Let's do it. All right, Daria, so I'm pretty good at guessing a cheeseburger. Now, to me, because I come from an Italian household, to me this looks like a calzone or something like that, but I couldn't be any further
You
off.
couldn't be any further off. This is technically called a Cornish pastry. Now, again, I'm usually pretty good with my food guesses. Looking at this, I have no clue. What I can tell you is that it looks like there is, again, the pastry outside.
Mm-hmm.
Let's
cut
this open.
Because I'm interested to knowing that if it's going to be the same pastry as the sausages were. Oh my God, look at that.
It looks like we have like steak, potatoes, and some vegetables in here.
Oh my God.
Okay, well, you know what I gotta do.
I was going to say, dig in there, absolutely. I bet you this is going to be one of our favorites here. Oh, there she goes with the.
Again, ooh, okay.
Oh,
Ooh.
oh.
I
Just
like
getting all
this.
these flavors here, folks.
I like this one. Again, biting into, I'm a big biscuit pastry, warm, buttery person. Like I love that consistency and that taste. Biting into this and then getting into the warm, soft potatoes, and I believe those are carrots in there. And then the steak. It's a simple flavor, but it's done very, very well. It's done very well, yeah.
So they probably had to marinate the steak before putting it in there, correct?
They did, but I would say, in my expert opinion,
Oh,
again, I'm a self-proclaimed expert,
Yeah.
it's almost as if it's like, it tastes almost like a stew a little bit. Not as thick as a stew, but you like the potatoes are very, very soft. The carrots were very, very soft. The meat is so tender and there's not much, I could swallow it whole almost.
You know what this reminds me of? It's almost like a chicken pot pie.
That's my first thought.
Right?
It's my first thought, but in a handheld version. And again, Cornish pastry, I'm very, very intrigued by the name of this.
I thought it was a chicken, folks, but apparently it's not.
We thought we were eating Cornish hen.
Exactly. We do a lot of research before the show.
But this is interesting to me because, again, we went from a sausage roll to a cheeseburger to now this Cornish pastry that, again, it's got to be something that's very enjoyable, just sitting at the bar, eating this, easy, handheld. You don't have to worry about cutting anything. You can watch your sports, you can watch your games, drink your beer, talk to anyone you want to, and you have a nice little compact meal right in front of you. I think this is...
That looks absolutely phenomenal. And again, we're so surprised about the food here.
I know.
And now this gives us even more, a higher
reason.
expectation. It should give you a higher expectation to get over here.
And again, being at a bar in Hoboken, this isn't your typical bar food. This isn't, like your typical nachos and wings and things like that. Not to say they don't have that or make that here, but this is something unique and different that is not at every
And the
bar.
menu's so small, folks. I mean, we basically,
This
yeah,
big.
exactly. It
This
was
big.
like a pamphlet that you would receive on a corner from somebody that's trying to sell you a massage. Anyway, go
But
ahead.
you know what? If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
If it ain't broke, don't fix
If
it.
you make it good, don't add more.
Well, Daria DeLucia of At Hoboken Eats, this was fun.
This was fun.
You're going to stick around for our next segment, though, and it's going to be a little bit of a surprise for you folks.
I'm going to be running the show pretty soon.
Apparently so. We will be right back and see what she's doing, if not the whole show.
Kids, let your New York City holiday fun begin with the New York Waterway Ferry. Kids under 12 ride the ferry free this holiday season, so families and friends can enjoy the magic of this special time in the city. Fast and frequent ferries let you take more time to see the sights. Free connecting shuttles take you to all the fun and bring you back to warm modern terminals when you're done. So enjoy the city this holiday season. Kids ride the ferry free through New Year's Day. Visit nywaterway.com/kidsfree or call 1-800-53-FERRY.
I'm Daria DeLucia, and we're back with The Pulse with Peter B., and we're here at Mulligan's. We're here with Josh Sotomayor Einstein. How are you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Good, good. So we're at Mulligan's. What are we doing here? What's going on?
So we're having a campaign launch for my campaign for Hudson County Republican chairman.
Okay.
Every county has a county Democrats and a county Republican Party, and the county Republican Party in Hudson County has been a paper fiction for too long, and we aim to change that. Because whether you're a Republican, if you're a Republican, you want a strong Republican Party. But even if you're a Democrat or an independent, you need to have at least two parties in the county. And right now, there's basically just one party. That's not healthy for anybody, for the taxpayer, for the resident, for the voter. It's an unhealthy situation. So we need to build a Republican Party, and I'm the man to do it.
I think that's absolutely fantastic.
But it's not just for us that we need to build a Republican Party in this county. It's for all the voters, even the voters that disagree with us. Because when you only have one party in an area, when you have a one-party system, whether it's the Soviet Union or whether it's Hudson County, the voter, the people, the residents, they get ripped off. There's no other party holding them accountable. There's no set of extra institutional eyes looking out and seeing what that party in power, the Democrats, are doing. And they just end up abusing the system more. All right, so that's why, even for independents and even for Democrats out there, they need for us to actually have a Republican Party. Now, I wasn't always a Republican, and I know there's some people that weren't always a Republican as well. It was years of going to left-wing rallies and protests, which I still like to do. Not because I support the causes. I try to stand like 50 feet away these days. But back then, I was a member of the left. And I saw, whether it was at the Million Mile March for quote-unquote common sense gun control, really taking away guns, that I went to with my mom because there was a cute girl from my youth group that was there. And I saw at the March for quote-unquote women's lives during the W administration, which was really a giant pro-abortion rally, I saw a vitriol and a hatred, a demonization of Republicans, calling them neo-Confederate, calling them, that they want to own slaves, that they hate Jews, that they hate women, that they hate immigrants, that they hate minorities. And even back then as a liberal, I was like, I just think they disagree. I don't think that they're the devil incarnate. And there's a lot of people who benefit from the perpetuation of these false beliefs. And there's a lot of people in the establishment politicians that are able to essentially profiteer off of people's fear, because we need to make our case stronger in the public sphere. If we don't, they're able to say that we're all these horrible things that we aren't. All right? And to that end, many of you have come to and been part of and helped us build different events that we've done, different types of public outreach, whether it's the debates that we've done going back years now. The first debate that we did was Occupy Wall Street versus the Tea Party, or the two young Democrats versus the two young Republicans. Whether it was the protest against Menendez when he was in Hoboken, or the other protest that we did against Menendez when he was fundraising in Jersey City with Hillary Clinton. So many of us here, we've been on the front lines, and it's time that we had a Republican Party that supports us, and that works with us, and that doesn't try to stop us. So that's why I'm running for the county chairman of the Hudson County Republican Party, and that's why I'm so glad to be here with all of you. Thank you so much.
All right, I'm back with the microphone here, back to my hosting duties, but Daria is doing a phenomenal job, and we just really had an inspirational speech by Josh Sotomayor Einstein. More on that later, because I'm here with my man Javier Colon. Javier, what town are you from?
I'm from West New York.
Oh, West New York, great. And what brings you here tonight to Mulligan's Bar?
Oh, I heard Josh Weinstein is having a campaign party, launching a campaign. So I really like him, so I decided to come here and show some support.
I like that. I like that a lot. I mean, he's okay. Let's just say that much. No, he's a great guy. I mean, he's our political analyst, of course, every week on the show. And, you know, one of the things he said during his speech was he wants to bring a two-party system back to Hudson County. He feels like the Democrats are really just taking over here, and the current chair is just absent. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I really agree. We're really, really overdue to have some Republican representation back in Hudson County, and I really think Joshua will do this well.
That's fantastic. And from West New York, too. And are you a committee man up there?
A committee man? No, I wasn't a committee man.
Okay, but I'm sure you're showing support from other cities in Hudson County for Josh Sotomayor and Stein. We'll be back with another interview or two. Thank you for joining us, Javier.
Thank you for having me.
Here with Augusta Przgoda. Did I get that correct?
Yes.
See, not bad for I'm a Biancamano.
You get a star for that.
I get a star. I like that. I like that. So Augusta, so how do you know you're from Hoboken, correct?
Yes.
All right, Mile Square City. How do you know Josh?
Well, we're both committee people in the Republican Party. That's how I met him at committee meetings, and I've worked with him, and I've been to debates he's had, and I really like the way his mind works. And I love his story, how he was originally a Democrat that switched over for all the right reasons, because he was kind of brainwashed that Republicans are ogres, and we're not. It's a brand that they put on us, and I've actually had people come up to me and ask me terrible questions, why I have a hard heart and why I don't care about poor people and all that. Of course I do. Of course I do. And a government that works efficiently will take care of everything else.
Yeah. That's great. That's great. Now let me ask you a question. He's going for county chair, obviously. That's this whole event tonight. Do you think Josh would make a much better county chair than what has been there for a number of years?
Well, I think he will, because he wants to make the Republican Party stronger and more viable. And he also understands, it sounds so trite, but he really does understand that any area is better if there's two strong parties. Competition, of course, again, that is something Republicans are all about, but it really is better. It keeps everybody honest if you have two equally strong, viable entities presenting their ideas and trying to get people's votes because they want to make the area they're representing better.
Well, thank you for joining us, Augusta. I feel enlightened now. I really do. Excellent job. Augusta Przgoda, everybody. All right, folks, that's going to do it at Mulligan's. We had Daria doing a great food review here in our first segment. Then she even took over the mic and interviewed Josh. We're all discombobulated here in Hoboken, New Jersey at Mulligan's. Folks, when we come back, we are going to be at the Prudential Center covering the Seton Hall, Maryland game. You're not going to want to miss it. Jay Sinatra is joining us. And don't worry, folks. Even though Josh is going for Republican chair at the county, he'll still be our political analyst every week on the Post with his unbiased opinions of Hoboken. We will be right back.
Kids, let your New York City holiday fun begin with the New York Waterway Ferry. Kids under 12 ride the ferry free this holiday season, so families and friends can enjoy the magic of this special time in the city. Fast and frequent ferries let you take more time to see the sights. Free connecting shuttles take you to all the fun and bring you back to warm modern terminals when you're done. So enjoy the city this holiday season. Kids ride the ferry free through New Year's Day. Visit nywaterway.com/kidsfree or call 1-800-53-FERRY.
Welcome back to the Postal Peter B. And as promised, we are here at the Prudential Center. I'm your host, Peter Biancamano, along with Pulse Sports Insider Jay Sinatra. Jay, what's going on, buddy?
What's up, Peter? Big game tonight.
Big game is right. So as we mentioned, we're here for the Seton Hall, Maryland game. Let's look at Seton Hall, Jay, in the most recent weeks here. 6-4 record. They certainly lost to two top 20 opponents in Michigan State and, of course, Oregon. But the last two games have been dominated by both Iowa State and Rutgers. What do you think of their season so far?
Well, I mean, so far it's been a little bit disappointing. There was a lot of expectations going into the regular season. They had a top 15 preseason ranking. Came out, they played a big game against Michigan State back in November. That game could have went either way. Michigan State hit some big shots down the stretch to take care of them that night. And ever since then, they haven't really bounced back from that loss, excuse me. I mean, you have a loss loss against Iowa State where Sandro got injured, a game against Oregon in the tournament where they were up by 19 and they blow that game, and then, of course, the debacle in Piscataway on Saturday where they don't even show up. They shoot 30% from the field on the road, and Rutgers just destroys them.
How interesting. Now let's focus on tonight because, of course, there's the 2 big injuries for Seton Hall with both Miles Powell and Sandro Mamakulashvili both out tonight. Probably their 2 biggest superstars. They take on the number 7 team in the country, Maryland. What do you think? How do you think they could be competitive in this type of game?
Well, I mean, you know, you're losing 32 points and 10 rebounds when you talk about Powell and Sandro's absence. I mean, It's going to be interesting to see how Willard shuffles his card. You might want to do something differently on defense. I mean, they got a couple of really good players. This kid Cohen from Maryland is outstanding. He averages about 17 points and 5 assists a game. So they're going to have to do something on him. And you're going to need, you know, we've spoke about this the entire season with Seton Hall. Somebody has to emerge as a second scoring option. Kale possibly can be the guy. McKnight, maybe Roden, maybe Nelson. They got to get scoring from somebody else. They don't have Powell tonight, so somebody's going to have to step up for them.
As mentioned, no Powell and no Mamakulashvili. Folks, we're going to be here for the next 2.5 hours for the game, but you're going to see us for post-game in just a matter of seconds. You're not going to want to miss it.
2 hours later.
All right, as promised, we're here for the post-game report. Still at the Prudential Center, still with Mr. Jay Sinatra, our Pulse Sports insider. Jay, unbelievable game tonight. Seton Hall with the upset victory, 52-48. By the way, Maryland only scored 18 points at the half. What was your impressions of the game?
It's just an outstanding performance with an undermanned Seton Hall Pirates team tonight at the Prudential Center. I mean, I don't know what to say. I thought everything they had to do to win this game, they did. They slowed down the pace. They played unbelievable defense. 15 block shots.
15 block shots.
How about that rim protecting, which was a big thing? And, you know, they slowed down Cowan Jr. and they slowed down Jalen Smith. And it all equated to a big upset victory tonight.
And they needed to come out here. I mean, there was over 13,000 fans strong here. I mean, there were a lot of Maryland supporters. You and I were looking around, absolutely. But they really needed to do this, especially after the Rutgers debacle last week, correct?
No, I agree. It was a great bounce back. And we spoke in the press conference. A couple of people were asking Coach Willard about the mental state of the team and where they were at. And he said it was a great week of practice. Everybody kept their head up, kept good energy, and they were prepared and focused on tonight, and they came out and played like it.
Absolutely phenomenal. Now, you mentioned this a little bit earlier before. You said that 15 block shots from the 2 7-foot monsters, as we call them, Romero Gill and Ike Obiagu. And we did catch some words with Romero Gill. You did ask him about his block shots. Let's hear what he had to say.
Well, I talked with Ike before, and Coach Grant talked with us like anybody come inside, that's our main priority to block him. So that was our goal to do tonight, and I think we did that pretty well. So.
I tell you what, in the previous few games, especially the last 2 losses, a lot of these block shots led to fouls by both Gill and Obiagu. Tonight, different story. They must have been practicing.
They played great defense. You know, they played straight up. They weren't leaving their feet too early, and then they were in great position to make those blocks. Reminded me a little bit of Akeem Olajuwon and Ralph Sampson, the 1986 Houston Rockets. Twin Towers, the Seton Hall rendition of the Twin Towers.
There you go. He's giving you a little bit of a history lesson today on the post, folks. Now let's talk about Anthony Nelson, because we thought that Anthony Nelson played very, very well on both sides of the ball. You had asked him about the last 30 seconds of the game, and I do want to play his sound before we delve into that.
The last 30 seconds there, huh?
Yeah.
Going to the free throw line, you had 3
we lost a lot of 3 times, yeah.
And then at the end down there on the other side,
we knew that we weren't really going to score the ball as great as we usually do, so we knew we had to
I was trying my hardest to make my first 2 free throws, but I missed both of them. The last time I went to the line, I just had to take my time, and I had to knock the free throw down.
So it looked like it was high pressure on in that last 30 seconds, correct?
He had an adventurous last 30 seconds. I mean, he comes down here on 2 separate occasions. He has 3 free throws. He makes 1 out of the 3. Then on the defensive side, he fouls Cowan Jr. with like 7 or 8 seconds left at shooting a 3-pointer, and we're holding our heads in disbelief. That's the last thing in the world you want to do. You know, you're up 4. You don't want to foul somebody and give them 3 free throws. Luckily, Cowan missed one out of the 3, and Seton Hall was able to run the clock out. But some tense moments there at the end.
He really was. And what I loved about him in the post-game press conference, especially when you asked him the question how poised he was, it's almost like with a microphone in his face, he's almost like he is on this court. I mean, completely poised for a young player.
Pete, it's a lot of pressure. I mean, you're standing here in front of a full house. This is a big win. You don't want to, lose everything you worked for this game. You get down to the final moments. You're on the line. You're playing defense. You're covering one of the best players in the nation. It's a tense moment. And he held his ground. It was a little nerve-wracking, but he got out of there all right.
Amazing. Another young player on this Seton Hall team that I think had a very big game, and we spoke to him in the post-game, was Jared Roden. I thought Jared Roden really came out and performed. We both kind of looked at each other. We said, oh, my God, he's starting the game. It looks like they're going to start Roden. And you spoke about how they came – you asked him how they came out on fire, and here's what he had to say.
Yeah, I say we stayed well poised after the loss at Rutgers. We all got back in the gym. We all got back in the film room. We talked a lot within each other. Even outside of practice, a lot of the guys just came together and just had conversations, which I think helped us. Like just talking about we have to keep our confidence going. We lost 2 of our best players, and it was just something that we continuously talked about, and I think we showed it and we did it tonight.
All right, so he, again, very, very composed in his answer, but he certainly did come out on fire, correct, with the team.
Well, what I was impressed with him tonight, and this is the way you can dominate a game without dominating it in the scoring column. 12 rebounds. I believe he led the team in rebounds tonight.
Phenomenal.
Which was extremely important. That's a big stat for a guard. 12 rebounds. And he had mentioned a little bit in the conference that he plays his game with a lot of energy. He likes to he was a big fan of Dennis Rodman, who was probably the greatest rebounder of all time, and it showed tonight with his rebounding ability.
Now let's talk about probably Seton Hall's best player tonight, and that was Quincy McKnight.
Yeah.
We spoke about who was going to be the player to step up, and it was Quincy McKnight. 17 points, 8 rebounds, huge game, and we asked him about the big game. Here's what he had to say.
It's a lot of momentum for us right now. Definitely, again, a top 10 win towards late in non-conference. Definitely going to bring us to the conference play on a high note. Come back Sunday, get another big win, and get ready for DePaul.
Jay, what do you think of the game of Quincy McKnight?
Quincy McKnight, the big game tonight. I mean, he almost had something close that resembled a triple-double. What was his final number, 17, 8, and 6?
17, 8, and 6, that's correct. Yep.
I mean, huge night from him. And, playing a step-up role as being the team leader tonight with Powell out. Quincy stepped in. This is his best game of the year, and it was totally necessary. Needed every last one of those points, but, big on the rebounding, big getting his other teammates involved. It's great numbers.
Great numbers. And one of the things that you asked Kevin Willard at the end of the game, head coach Kevin Willard, was about the press game. You thought that it was much better. He didn't really think so. Right. He thinks that it needs to get better. Let's hear what he had to say.
We didn't handle it great, but we handled it a little bit better. It's just something that we got to continue to work on. It's obviously we didn't handle the Oregon game overly well, but I thought guys had a better understanding of what we're doing. We just got to get a little better.
So what did you think of the press coverage of the team and what Kevin Willard had to say?
I thought it improved. I mean, obviously Kevin's not going to say, we're exactly where we have to be with it, but it's been much improved. I mean, Oregon was a complete debacle. They could not handle their pressure. They couldn't handle their trap, and that contributed to Oregon's comeback in that game. And they had trouble with it in Iowa State. They had some trouble with it last Saturday. I thought it was better. They did make some turnovers in the second half, but overall I thought it was better because late in the game, Maryland was bringing the full court press. They were doing a lot of half court trapping, and for the most part, Seton Hall handled it better, I thought, considering without Powell.
Absolutely. It's absolutely phenomenal. And one of the things that Kevin Willard said also at the end of the game was he thought that Maryland can win the national championship. So it just goes to show you what type of win this is. I know it's way too early, but that's exactly what he said.
And I'm not a big enough believer in Maryland, but I mean, who knows? This thing is wide open. We've seen like 4 or 5 number ones go down already. We're not even at the end of December. Conference play really hasn't even started. We've had all these number 1 teams go down. So maybe he is onto something here. I'm not a big believer in Maryland, but I'm a big believer. This was a must-win and a huge effort by Seton Hall.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, Jay Sinatra, our Pulse Sports Insider, first time doing a remote show here. I hope you feel good, buddy.
I loved it.
It's awesome. It's great to be on this court. Folks, join us next week for the Pulse on everything you need to know. I'm Peter Biancamano from the Prudential Center. Final score, Seton Hall 52, Maryland 48. Have a great week, everybody.
Kids, let your New York City holiday fun begin with the New York Waterway Ferry. Kids under 12 ride the ferry free this holiday season, so families and friends can enjoy the magic of this special time in the city. Fast and frequent ferries let you take more time to see the sights. Free connecting shuttles take you to all the fun and bring you back to warm modern terminals when you're done. So enjoy the city this holiday season. Kids ride the ferry free through New Year's Day. Visit nywaterway.com/kidsfree or call 1-800-53-FERRY.